All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? And happy Tuesday to you. It is Thanksgiving week, man. It's Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. This morning, we're going to talk about what is it that's holding you back, man? What are those things? What are the stories that you're telling yourself? Maybe the thing that's in your business that's kind of holding you from the next level. What is it that's holding you back? Is it your routine? There's a million different things that it could be, but what is it for you? And we're going to help you overcome that this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you. Man, it's good to be back. As you guys can see, I'm in my home office this morning. My flight came in late last night, but early compared to when I was supposed to get home. So I'm happy to be here and going to do this show from the house this morning. I got some kids out there going crazy this morning, so bear with me here if it gets a little loud, but good to be home with them and good to see them and wake up with all the excitement here this morning when Daddy gets home. So nothing better than that. So I wanted to kick things off this week. You know, yesterday you guys got to watch the video of Charlie Rocket, and you know he talked a lot about some things that were and are holding him back, and you know I think that we all have those things in our lives that are holding us back. You know, some story that we're telling ourselves, some belief that we have that we're not good enough, that something bad is going to happen, because that's kind of the routine of how our lives have shaped up before. You know, as things got better, something always happened, and so we are anticipating and expecting that thing to happen again. And you know, for me, I look at, it's much easier to see, generally speaking, what's holding somebody else back versus what's holding yourself back. But if you spend enough time alone, if you spend enough quiet time with yourself, you will figure out what's holding you back too. That happened for me, you know, on several different topics this weekend as I was spending alone time in South Florida. You know, Friday and Saturday, I was solo, just me in a hotel room, and man, it was crazy just how much you can figure out in just a couple of hours of sitting out on a balcony and you know, looking out into the ocean and just giving things some thought, you know, gathering your perspective, for lack of a better description. And you know, it got me thinking about, you know, so many other people, the people that I interact with, you guys, the people on our teams at the companies that I'm part of. What is it that's holding people back? You know, what story is it? What instance is it? What belief is it? And you know, I wanted to talk about it this morning because I sit here as a living example of what it looks like, you know, to reframe those stories, to reprogram your thoughts, to be a person that can overcome those voices that tell you you're not good enough. And believe me, I still, you know, I still go through some of that, you know, as I go through different levels of, you know, achievement, different breaking through things that I didn't think, you know, were possible, or that I have never really achieved at the level that we're achieving them at now. You still go through that. But when you recognize it, you know, when you're able to recognize what's going on, those thought patterns that you have that put you in a place that you don't belong, you're able to fix it. You're able to recognize that and move forward differently with recognition of what exactly is going on. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about this morning. I want to stop for a second and just say good morning to some folks. We got a bunch of people on here this morning. Mr. Daniel Good, good morning to you, brother. Gary, good morning. Sharif, good morning to you. Christina, I owe you a text back, and I will definitely do that today. Ed, good morning to you. Clayton, thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. I try to make the hair good for you, brother. Hopefully, it looks like I succeeded this morning. Steve Flaherty, good morning to you, man. Don Sankey, Curtis, what's happening, brother? Trisha and Michael Kistner, my man. Good morning to you, man. Good to see you here, brother. Been a while. So, what story is it that you're telling yourself, or what is it that you're stuck on, or maybe you're just kind of in that place where you've been winning and you get a little comfortable, right? You're not continuing to push at the level that you were pushing. And I say that because I think we all have that tendency, right? We all have that tendency to be, to look at the success that we're creating or look at the progress that we're making and to be happy for that. And that's normal. And it's normal to, kind of breathe a sigh of relief. But sometimes that little extra that you're able to give, that focus that you're able to have when everybody else doesn't, because, well, you're up by 3 touchdowns in the game of life. If you don't keep showing up, guys, if you don't live to a standard that you set for yourself that is in alignment with what your potential is, not with what you're achieving, but what is your potential, then you're missing out. And you're missing out on multiplication of whatever it is that you're achieving. One of the things that I tell the people that are closest to me that I interact with on a one-on-one basis from a coaching standpoint, there is compound interest in life. When you start winning and you start gaining that interest on the things that you've been trying to accomplish, when you keep going, man, when you keep pushing, when you keep working like you're broke, even when you're not, things change and they multiply really fast, man. And that is what we're all after. I spent a lot of time this weekend thinking about what it is that I want in life. It's not monetary achievement. It's not money. It's not, achievement. There's things that we want that are deep rooted, like things that we actually want to experience, emotions that we want to feel. Things that we're able to do for others. There's a long list of things that we want. And if we don't connect to that, if we don't figure out what that list is, and it's very difficult to overcome our normal thinking of these lists. We're looking at these lists of things that we want, and then we go to, well, how do we go back to work tomorrow and go start moving in the direction of getting it? And it's not right. You have to figure out, like, what is it that you truly want and how do you get it? And look 5 years out, 10 years out, 15 years out. What does it look like when you're 75 years old? What do you want your life to look like? Because if you don't plan that out, you're just going to end up with whatever happens. And so it's likely that what is holding you back is actually your lack of clarity of what's truly important to you, because the world, society has told you what's important to you. Whatever vehicle you want to drive, or, whatever material goal that you have that's next that you want to collect. But what is it that you actually want? And so for me, I won't go into the details, but for me, it's freedom, man. It's that ability to do and create and show my kids how to create and spend time with them. The most precious thing that we have, guys, is time. And if we don't connect to that, we don't figure out what we really want, and we don't get our actions in alignment with what it is that we want, we're going to have a really hard time staying motivated, won't we? And so what is holding you back is likely a lack of clarity. It's likely not taking the time to get out of the rat race and figure out, what is it that you actually want? And so what is holding you back is the answer that lies within all of that. What's holding you back is having the fire that doesn't allow you to slow down when things get good, that allows you to take a step back and recalibrate things Really get clear on what it is that's holding you from the next step and the next step and the next step, because it's different, man. What's holding you back in the beginning is completely different than what's holding you back on step 2 or step 6, 10. Changes. These things change. And so in your life, it could be the people that are around you that are holding you back. It could be the stories that you're telling yourself. It could be the routine. It could be your lack of discipline. It could be your lack of clarity on what it is that actually drives you and what the end result looks like. You know, when I spent some time this weekend getting clear on what it is that I really wanted, you know, what is my life? What do I want my life to look like in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? It's amazing what you know, if you just let your mind go and you start writing this stuff down, it's amazing what you actually want. And it's amazing how possible it all is. That vision board back there, a large portion of it has to be replaced. I have to open it up and put new things on there because those things were achieved. So I challenge you, what does it look like for you? What is actually holding you back from getting the life that you want? The freedom that you want, the time with the most important people in your life, your spouse, your children. What is it that's holding you back from creating the memories that you want to create with the people that you care about the most, whether that's personally, professionally, whatever it is? And I can tell you this, I am charged up and ready to go to work today. Ready to make a difference, ready to cast a brand new vision to everybody that I care about, ready to figure out what it is that their vision is now, because I don't believe that most of us actually take the time to figure that out. We think we do because we have goals and we're doing better this year than we did last year. And, we might be crushing it. When you're crushing it, it's the hardest time to figure this out. Trust me. What I thought I wanted versus what I came to the conclusion of that I wanted are very different. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thought. And I don't think any of us get quite enough thought. That's another thing that's holding us back. But answer that question for yourself today, guys. Is it that achievement is holding you back? Progress is holding you back? You've been doing so much better than you ever have. And so getting to the next level is, you just kind of stalled out, crushing it at the level that you're at. What is it? Is it the people, the stories, your routine, your discipline, how you show up? Is it where you're at, where you're working, what you're doing, what's holding you back? When you figure that out, man, it's crazy how easy it is to get moving. I got in late last night, man. I didn't have any problem getting out of bed this morning. Had no problems getting out of bed to see my kids, to hang out with my wife for a couple of minutes, to be excited to go to work and talk to people, figure out what it is, how we can get them to what they want. That's what it's all about, guys. It's about challenging those things that come to your mind first, because they're probably not what you actually want. That's it for today, guys. I appreciate you being here. I will see you again tomorrow morning for a pre-Thanksgiving edition of Morning Perspective. Man, I just appreciate you guys being here, man. We absolutely crushed it on the launch of the Charlie Rocket episode. If you guys didn't catch that, it is over on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. It's available. It's also available on this page. We got some stuff coming up with Charlie, man. We're going to do some really cool stuff to change people's lives, to make a difference. Other people's dreams have always been part of my dreams. And so meeting Charlie has been an inspiration to me and to a lot of people that I am close with. And so stay tuned for that, man. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on that is helping people and making an impact in our own country and around the world. So stay tuned for that. And man, I just appreciate you guys being here. Share this out if you found it to be useful. If you got somebody in your life that you think needs to hear this message, which I believe we all do, share it to them. Send it in a DM. Copy the link from the podcast. Text it to them. I ask you to just send it to one person, man. Just send it to one person that it might make an impact on. Introduce somebody new to this show. You never know, man. It might change their life, and it might be just the message they need to hear right when they need to hear it. And that's happened to me many times in my life, man. And it's been extraordinary, the results of when you get that message right with the right timing. So appreciate you guys. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thank you.